What if the next step in human evolution isn't human at all? Imagine a world where you don't need to type, talk, or even blink to control your devices, where your thoughts interface directly with artificial intelligence, where uploading knowledge is as effortless as downloading an app. It sounds like science fiction, but it's inching closer to reality every single day. In the next 30 years, we may not just use AI, we may become part of it. Now, before we dive into should we, let's tackle the big one, can we? As of 2025, brain-computer interfaces are no longer experimental toys. They're undergoing real human trials. Elon Musk's Neuralink has already implanted chips in human subjects, and one participant recently demonstrated the ability to move a cursor with nothing but his mind. That's not hype. That's FDA-approved, live data. And Neuralink's not alone. Companies like Synchron, Precision Neuroscience, and BlackRock Neurotech are all racing to build brain interfaces that don't require cracking open your skull. One method even slides a neural mesh through a vein in your neck and unfolds it inside your brain's motor cortex. The result? You gain digital control without invasive surgery. But here's where things get mind-bending. We're not just talking about helping the disabled regain function. We're talking about enhancing healthy brains. Think faster learning, real-time foreign language translation in your head, instant memory recall, even brain-to-brain communication without speaking. If you think social media is addictive now, wait until it's inside your brain. So how close are we? A 2023 study from the University of Texas showed that AI can translate brain scans into coherent sentences. Not just words, full sentences. Another from MIT in early 2025 mapped how the brain makes decisions. Before a person consciously acted, what we're looking at is not just reading brainwaves, we're decoding intent. But decoding is only half the story. If we want to merge with AI, we also need to write back into the brain. That's a much harder challenge. See, the brain is incredibly plastic. It rewires itself constantly, but it's also wildly complex. Each human brain contains about 86 billion neurons firing in trillions of patterns. Mapping that and syncing it with a machine is like translating the universe into ones and zeros. And yet, we're starting to crack that code. In 2024, researchers in Japan successfully restored partial vision in blind patients using a digital retina that sent signals directly to the brain's visual cortex. The patient didn't just detect light. They described shapes. That's not just writing data into the brain. That's perception. So let's pause for a second and take this in. As of now, we have AI that can read thoughts, chips that allow digital control of physical movement, early tests writing sensory data into the brain. This is the foundation for merging with AI. But the real question isn't just how. Why would we want to do this? That's where things get interesting, because some of the biggest minds in tech believe this isn't optional. It's necessary. Elon Musk has warned repeatedly that AI may become so intelligent, so fast, that humans won't be able to keep up. His proposed solution: merge with it. If you can't beat the machine, become part of it. Neuralink, he argues, is not about making us superhuman. It's about making sure humans don't get left behind. Other voices echo this urgency. Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, recently said that symbiosis with AI might be our best chance at avoiding insignificance. Google's futurist still predicts we'll reach the singularity by 2045, a moment when AI surpasses human intelligence, and we'll need to merge in order to maintain agency. But here's where it gets wild. If we truly merge, if our thoughts, memories, and consciousness can interact with, or even reside in AI systems, what happens to the concept of self? Who are you if your mind exists in the cloud? And more importantly, what happens when hackers get involved? That's where we're headed next. If we open a direct gateway between our brains and machines, how do we protect what makes us us? Welcome to the uncomfortable frontier, neurosecurity. Because once your thoughts can be read, they can be stolen. And if your brain can be written to, then in theory it can be reprogrammed. This isn't some far-off Black Mirror plot. These are conversations happening now in military labs, ethics councils, and AI safety boards. In fact, DARPA has already funded multiple neurotech initiatives, including one aimed at detecting and disrupting hostile brain signals. Yes, you heard that right, offensive and defensive neural programming. And as chilling as that sounds, it's just the beginning. Now imagine your neural implant gets hacked. Not your phone, not your laptop, your mind. What's the digital equivalent of a brain virus? Could someone rewrite your memories, alter your perceptions, implant synthetic emotions? These aren't just philosophical questions. Cybersecurity experts are already raising alarms. In 2025, a group at Oxford published a report outlining potential attack vectors in closed-loop brain-computer systems. One of their hypothetical scenarios, a thought-loop exploit that traps users in an artificial feedback pattern without their awareness. It's why every major player in the neurotech space is racing to develop encrypted, secure communication layers. Because if our brains go online, the stakes go way beyond stolen passwords. We're talking identity, autonomy, free will. But let's shift gears. because not everyone's waiting on big tech. There's a parallel world emerging, and it's got a DIY attitude. Biohackers, grinders, Garo-based neuro-enthusiasts who believe the future of human-AI integration shouldn't be locked behind patents or permissions. These are the pioneers who ask, why wait for Neuralink to approve you when you can build your own interface? One of the most famous cases is Rich Lee, an early biohacker who implanted magnets into his ears to hear ultrasonic frequencies. Others have built crude but functional EEG systems to interpret brainwaves at home. And yes, some are experimenting with open-source brain implants, soldering circuits, uploading firmware, customizing their own neural tools. It sounds insane, but it raises a powerful question. Should this tech belong to corporations or to the people? And that sparks a deeper ethical battle. Because when access to intelligence, memory, speed, or perception becomes programmable, who gets upgraded first? Do the rich get superhuman cognition while others are left behind? Will enhanced humans compete unfairly in schools, jobs, warfare? This isn't just about merging with AI, it's about who we become when we do. A new class divide could emerge, not of race or income, but of mind power. The upgraded versus the unaugmented. Already, some governments are taking notice. In 2024, South Korea's Ministry of Science began regulating cognitive enhancement technology, citing national competitiveness and ethical boundaries. Meanwhile, China is pouring billions into brain AI research, viewing it as the next arms race. Not missiles, not markets, minds. And that might be the most overlooked part of this whole debate. Merging with AI isn't just personal, it's geopolitical. Countries are treating neurotech as the next frontier in cyber warfare and global influence. If one nation cracks superintelligent human integration first, it could reshape everything, from defense to diplomacy to education. But here's the kicker. Despite all the science, all the progress, all the urgency, there's still one question that refutes. What does it mean to be human in an AI-integrated world? And that is where we're headed next. Because whether or not we merge with AI, evolution is already in motion. If we can upgrade our minds, rewrite our biology, and connect our consciousness to machines, then what exactly are we evolving into? Because at this point, it's no longer a question of if we merge with AI, it's a question of what we become afterward. This isn't just about brain implants or smart contact lenses anymore. It's about the future of the species, the next stage of human evolution. Some call it Homo Deus, the godlike human, who no longer relies on biology to survive or reproduce. Others call it the dawn of posthumanity, where our identities are no longer bound by the limits of the flesh, or even individual consciousness. Ray Kurzweil, the futurist who's predicted dozens of breakthroughs with uncanny accuracy, believes we'll hit the singularity by 2045. That's when AI becomes not just as smart as humans, but smarter than all of us combined. And if we're not plugged in by then, we may simply fall behind. But merging with AI isn't just about survival. It's also about potential. Imagine you can speak every language instantly, upload your thoughts directly into the cloud, share emotions, memories, skills. Not with words, but with neural pulses. Learning Kung Fu, download it, writing a symphony, compose it with AI-assisted intuition. This isn't a dream anymore. It's a design brief. And some of the most powerful minds on Earth are building it right now. OpenAI's recent venture into co-thought systems, tools that anticipate your ideas before you even finish forming them, is one step toward that vision. Google DeepMind is experimenting with neurosymbolic systems that mirror how our brains reason and abstract. Meanwhile, Elon Musk's Neuralink has quietly begun human trials, testing whether we can literally type with our thoughts. So if we reach the point where thought becomes action and memory becomes code, do we become something more than human? Or do we lose something in the process? Religious leaders, philosophers, some argue that the soul or human spirit can't be copied no matter how advanced the tech. Others warn of a future where consciousness is replicated, owned, even erased. And then there's the wildest possibility of all. What if merging with AI doesn't just upgrade individuals? What if it leads to a collective mind, a kind of digital hive consciousness, where privacy disappears, but empathy is limitless, where decisions are made not by leaders, but by aggregated intuition? It sounds utopian, or dystopian, depending on who you ask, but it's not science fiction anymore. In 2023, a team in Switzerland successfully linked multiple human brains into a shared neural interface, allowing them to solve problems collaboratively without speaking, in real time. That's hive mind tech happening right now. So maybe the real question isn't whether we can merge with AI, it's whether we should. Because once we cross that threshold, there's no going back. It won't just be your phone or your computer that gets an update, it'll be you. So as we stand at the edge of this transformation of identity, of consciousness, of evolution itself, we have to ask, what kind of future are we choosing to build? A future where AI is our partner, our prosthetic mind, helping us become more creative, more connected, more human, or a future where the line between man and machine blurs so completely we forget where we began. So, tell me, when the time comes, would you plug in, like, subscribe, and share if you're ready to explore what's next in the future of the mind?